I am Robert Siciliano. I am a security awareness expert and the head trainer at ProtectNowLLC.com. Welcome to this week's Protect Now Security Snapshot. Each week, we break down recent events in the world of scams, fraud, and identity theft. I will provide you with real-life examples of how certain information vulnerabilities can be exploited by online predators, by the bad guys, and share the best up-to-date tips and practices on how to protect your business, your loved ones from hacks, fraud, and identity theft. Let's get at it. And welcome to this week's Protect Now Security Snapshot. Let's get right into it. First, we're going to discuss your stolen login credentials are for sale online. Right here, this article from Security Magazine talks about how there are 15 billion credentials in circulation right now on the criminal market. Then we're going to go to a website called Have I Been Pawned or Pwned, basically showing you evidence that your username and many of your passwords are currently in the hands of criminals. And then the solution to that is engaging in a password manager. I'll show you your options around that. Also, we'll discuss the Equifax hack, how it exposed more data than originally disclosed. I'll show you a quick link to a video watching me, yours truly, discussing that on television. And then finally, I'll provide you with an access to links so you can download and access all the various stories we're talking about today, a link to sign up for my webinar, and ultimately, I want you to like our Facebook page, and I'll show you a link on how to get there. So first thing I'm going to do is take you to Security Magazine at securitymagazine.com. And they have put together a great piece that talks about how the number of stolen and exposed credentials has risen 300% from 2018. So let's get right into it. Right here, it says Digital Shadow, a research security company, reveals new research accessing how cybercriminals exploit stolen credentials for accounts that we use every single day, including bank accounts, social media, and video streaming services. The study, entitled From Exposure to Takeover, finds that there are more than 15 billion credentials in circulation in cybercriminal marketplaces, which means they're buying and selling our usernames and passwords from previous data breaches, many on the dark web. The equivalent of more than 2 for every person on the planet, 2 records for every person on the planet. The number of stolen and exposed credentials has risen more than 300% from 2018 as a result of more than 100,000 separate data breaches. Of these, more than 5 billion were assessed to be unique, which means unique usernames and passwords for 5 billion people. That said, they have not been advertised more than once on criminal forums, which means that they only sell those credentials to one person at a time and don't resell that same data. Either way you skin it, this is pretty scary. And the fact of the matter is, it can all be prevented if you're using a different password for every account. I'll explain in a moment. First, right here, this particular website called Have I Been Pawned shows you exactly whether or not your usernames and your passwords have been compromised in a number of different data breaches. So right here, as you can see, I already propagated it with robertsiciliano@gmail.com, my email address. I'm going to hit pawned or pwned, and look what happens. It does a quick search on over 10 billion records that this particular security researcher has on file from all of these data breaches, and it says that I have been pawned on 25 breached sites. So what that means is, as you scroll through it, this company Apollo, a Bitcoin forum, Bitly, Cafe Mom, Cove, Daily Motion, Discus, Dropbox, Forbes, GateHub, Last.fm, LinkedIn, MySpace, and so on. All of these companies had data breaches using, in my robertsiciliano@gmail.com was compromised in each of these data breaches. And many of them, my password for that specific site, like LinkedIn, was also part of the breach, which means that the bad guy could say, log into my LinkedIn profile page because the credentials are out there stolen, right? LinkedIn gets hacked. My username, my password for LinkedIn is now out there for sale on the web. Same thing with yours, okay? So you search your email address as your username and see how many different sites pop up using your credentials, okay? That said, I use a different password for every single account. I never use the same password twice. So all I have to do is go in here, for LinkedIn for that matter, and just change my LinkedIn password so the bad guy can't get access. Easy enough, simple fix. But the key going forward is to make sure that you never use the same password twice. You can't. Because of all these data breaches, the bad guys generally already have your credentials. And if you're using the same password across multiple accounts, they have the credentials to all of your accounts. See how that works? So the best way to go about fixing this is to get a password manager. So I just did a quick search on Google for password manager. And on the first page of search, you see this article right here from PC Magazine, and it talks about the best password managers of 2020. And right here, it talks about Keeper and LastPass and Dashlane and Bitwarden and Log Me Once and Password Boss and 1Password and RoboForm and so forth. It talks about how much they cost, the various features, the benefits, whether they are in the cloud, if they have two-factor authentication, whether the license is forever or once or annually, and so forth. So do your research, read up on a password manager and how they work. Any questions, comments, and feedback that you have regarding password managers, by all means, email me, robertsiciliano@gmail.com. And right here, as I promised, here is a link to a TV show that I did regarding Equifax hack exposes more data than originally disclosed. You can get a link for this and a link for signing up for our special online event, date to be determined, and to get an email with a PDF of all the links from this security snapshot. Also, a link to our Facebook page. I want you to like us on Facebook. That'll all be included when you visit the protectnow.online and sign up for our special online event. We'll also email you the PDF with links to all of these various research that we've done today. Thank you so much for your time. You guys are great. We appreciate you attending the Protect Now Security Snapshot. We will see you next week. Talk to you soon.